What's up, fellow duelists? Y.G.O-LYFE back again. We have another deck profile. This one is going to be on my Fossil Fusion Adamancipator rock deck. Like, this deck is just all rock. Like, rock with XC, Synchros, and Fusion all into one deck for a special upload for you guys. Honestly, you could play one Crystalline Needle Fiber. You could play also one Verta Anaconda, but preferably the best link 2 for this deck that you get to abuse a lot of cards with is Cross Sheet. Cross Sheet being that card. Honestly, I'm playing 2 in here. You could also play one Crystalline Needle Fiber or one Anaconda or even one each, but let's go ahead and get into this awesome deck profile to show you guys this exclusive deck. Starting off, I'm gonna start off with the tuners. We have Self-Explanatory 3 Analyzer with Emancipator as the level 4. We have 2 Researcher. Sorry it took too long for me to bring you this deck profile. This deck has actually been finished for some months now, but I had to get one more Researcher because I only had 2 Researchers. I've been waiting on the Megatons, so we finally got our 3rd Researcher. We have 3 Emancipated Secret Self-Explanatory for the tuners. Just all the Emancipated tuners that we play. And for the non-tuner Emancipators, play one of each crystal. Just to put them in graveyard for the synchro effect. But also, if you have your Weathering Soldier in your hand, you just send these off the Miracle Eruption. Put them in the graveyard. So having multiple Miracle Eruption, they're not dead. That's it for the Emancipator. And then more support for the deck. We have 3 Weapon Soldier, because if it's sent to the graveyard or just sent to the graveyard by card effect, you get to add a card that specifically lists Fossil Fusion in this card text or a Fossil Fusion. Honestly, this is one of them cards I feel like it's a good monster under Mystic Mind, that it will catch your opponent off guard playing Mystic Mind, that you get to summon, but you swing. If it's the only monster, it doesn't lose its attack. So it's just one of them random good cards in the deck. But just a searcher for spells. Play 3 Guardian just to help set up more monster negation. And just being it's a rock deck, you always have a rock monster to reveal during end phase, but one of them cards where you can slowly play, figure out what your opponent's playing. Two Bear Statue of the Drought. Honestly, don't see myself needing a 3rd one, but playing just 2, honestly, to be able to basically have a Vainest, Emptiness type board where my opponent can't spell summon, but I have my board established. I feel like this guy is actually great. Giga Antis, because just another extender, being able to summon by banishing an Earth monster, since this is all mainly Earth deck, so being able to banish. I would probably cut Gigas to 1 if I could have one more supplier, or just cut it all just for supplier. I'm playing one net of his Keystone because just helping with the link plays and being able to extend and getting your resource back in the deck. Onto the spells. 3 Miracle Eruption. Be able to send your Weathering or your Adamancipator non-tuner monsters to the graveyard. But you also get additional draw on the late 2 ones if you play them. So help with the speed a little. Honestly, being able to look at your opponent's hand is why I play this card at 3. Just technically, you just declare anything. You can stop your opponent from summoning their Dragoon, stop them from basically doing a lot on their next turn, and knowing what they have in their hand to set up your final board before you pass turn if you go first. But honestly, declaring random cards like hand traps, fusion material monsters, it just helps so they can't use Anaconda. Just being smart, calling hand traps and stuff, because honestly, this card in this deck is way more valuable than cross-out designators and hand traps. Knowing what your opponent has, you know how to play around stuff. Oh, call Rock 10. Nibiru's gone. Go off. 3 Fossil Fusion. Really, you can play 2, but for space issue wise of making it 40 cards or keeping it around 40, I played a Fossil Fusion at 3. Adamancipator Sign as my reborn choice of the deck. Just playing 3, no reborn. We have 2 Twin Twisters. Honestly, you can honestly break with the spells, but you get majority Fossil Fusion graveyard for your eruption off the Twin Twister before you go off, like going second. So this is one of them going second cards that it's iffy, but also being able to discard, and then Miracle Eruption off your Fossil Fusion. That's why I played 3 Fossil Fusion. It's great. One Call by the Grave, because you don't want to be hand trapped with your Adamancipator when you try and go off, and it's at 1. But hey, the Call by the Grave to go with the specimen inspection. So you basically have that to help with the deck. And playing Adamancipator Relief, because just to help with the Adamancipator engine and all the Adamancipator cards I have in the deck. That's it for the main deck. Going into the extra deck now. 2 Cross Sheet. Like I said before, you can replace Cross Sheet with a Hyper Fiber Axe if you have one, or even an Anaconda. Just me just playing with 2 Cross Sheets. And we have, since we do have our drought, you play Start Yuju, so you won't be technically fully locked out of your extra deck with links. I play 1 each of the Fossil Fusion monster basically right now. Fossil Warrior, Skull King, Fossil Dragon, Skull Gear, Scoliolis Dragon, and the level 4/1 Skullbone, or Fossil Warrior Skullbone. So 2 of the warrior ones, Fossil Warriors, and 2 of the Fossil Dragons. For the fusion monster that actually works with the cross sheep. Two drag ice for your synchro monsters. Two rat tail. And we also Leo Knight. Honestly, the least one I see myself going into Leo Knight unless I go first. Being able to sync. Go Leo Knight. Then make it away so I can summon him. By syncing up, like putting double syncers on board. So that's it for the synchro monsters. And for the XC, the only rock XC you need to run in here, the Gallant Granite, because it'll be able to surge and special some of your rock monsters. Being an XC monster, go with cross sheep. Your opponent monster lose attack, so being at 23 base with a cross sheep is actually good in certain situations that you can get into playing this deck. Thanks guys for tuning into this deck profile. Y.G.O-LYFE signing out.